Hello, all you coin aficionados out there, and welcome to the DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Today we have a remake of our Morgan dollar from 1890. A number of people wrote to us and said, look, um, we like the coins, but we like also that you handle the coins and do stuff with the coins. And when you have it in this sleeve, like you had the Morgan dollar, um, we don't like those videos as much. And so I said, well, all right. Let's just take it out of the sleeve. It's not going to cost us anything to take it out of the sleeve. We will be able to turn it over that way and look at it from all angles, and hopefully you'll like it a little bit better. So let's start right in. This is the famous Morgan dollar, and the reason it was called the Morgan dollar is because it was engraved by George T. Morgan. This Morgan dollar was made from 1878 until 1921. It's often called the Liberty Head dollar, and if we blow it up, you can see why we call it the Liberty Head dollar. It says Liberty in this little kind of tiara that goes across her hair, and you can see kind of the leaves sticking out, the olive kind of leaves sticking out, the little bit of a bun on the back of her hair and her ear here. This is actually a pretty good condition coin from an 1890. And one of the things about this coin for me, was the face. Just beautiful eyes here, the nose and mouth as they come through, um, and the hair kind of flowing back and down. And so when we look at this coin, and this, obviously this is a coin that is 100 and almost 129 years old. It is just in fine shape for that. It's a silver coin, 0.90% silver, um, which means that it is valuable for silver alone. And then if we look at the edge, we see that it's a reeded edge. It's 38.1 millimeters in diameter, so it's a big coin. Uh, how big is it? Well, let's put the Eisenhower dollar on top of it, and we kind of put them next to each other. It's a little tiny bit bigger than the Eisenhower dollar, in the same amount to a dollar. And it says across the top, E pluribus unum. Down here we have 7 stars on the left, 6 stars on the right. For the original 13 colonies, we have the year 1890 here. And then if we flip it over, we see the war eagle. And then this course of a war and peace eagle, we have the arrows on this side, the olive branch on this side. We have the wreath underneath. It says united, and then there's the wing of the eagle, states of in between the wings. The other wing of the eagle, and then it says America here, with a star on each side. And then it says right above the eagle's head, in God we trust. If we blow that up, we see it's kind of a scripted in God we trust, kind of a funky I and a G, and it's very nicely designed. And the eagle is kind of a mean looking dude. Look at that beak, very sharp, great engraving on this side also by George T. Morgan. If we look way, way, way down underneath, we can see right above the $1 on the bottom, the CC. Now that's a mint mark, and many people don't know where that mint mark is, and that's because we don't use that mint anymore. That is the Carson City, Nevada mint. In 1890, they minted this coin at Carson City. They minted it at Denver, and they minted it at Philadelphia. Now the Philadelphia ones will not have anything here. It will just be a blank here for the Philadelphia mint. And in Philly, they made about 17 million. In Carson City, they made 2.3 million. And in Denver, they made 10.7 million. So this is a nice coin. It's a valuable coin. Probably somewhere in the $30+ range. But there is a version of this coin that's even more expensive, and that is the so-called tail bar version, where a actual little bar comes right down here from this end tail down and touches the wreath. This coin looked almost like it might have a little bit of a bar in there, and you can see where it's kind of a little messy over here, and there's a little bit of extra kind of feather there. But this is not the tail bar version. The tail bar that I've seen. The tail bar version that I've seen is just has a bar that goes right across, about as wide as one of these arrow shafts, that goes down and touches the wreath. So I don't believe this is a tail bar version, but if you do look at the 1890, look for that tail bar version, because that is a very, very, very expensive coin. Now this coin, in silver value alone, is worth 11, 12, $13. But because so many of these got melted down over the years, it's much higher value as a collector value. So let's just say it's in the 30 plus range, but it could be even higher than that depending on whether you have the ability to get one of these for your collection. And when I say the 30 plus range, I mean 30 plus in a well, I say 30 bucks in a very fine condition. And this is a little bit lower than very fine, but I would pay 30 bucks for this coin, I believe, just because I'd like to have it. Now, some of these coins are still being sold in bags that are kind of essentially they're not in great shape. They're pretty worn down. So you can get one of these coins pretty easily, sometimes for not much more than silver value because it's so worn off. What do you look for? Well, look for the Liberty. If the Liberty's worn off, you know, that's a really worn coin. Look for the mint mark on the back. If there's a CC, like that coin a little bit better. Look for the way that these eagle's wings come through. Are there any kind of markings on the feathers in the wings? Look at the arrows down beneath. Can you see definitive arrows down here and definitive tail feathers? Look for the wreath. Can you see any kind of petals in the wreath? In this one, you can't see many. I mean, you can see them, but they're really flattened. For higher definition ones, you'll be able to see some separation and actually some variegation in the leaves down here. Look for a little bit more definition in the head if you want to go up to very fine, and look for a little bit more definition around the outer rim and with the essentially the beaded part of the outer rim. And you can see on this coin that much of that is just gone. It's just worn away. You can still see some of the beads up here, but for very fine, you'd like to see more of those beads. All right, that's all we have today from the DC Coin World International Coin Channel. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel, and if you have any comments, please leave them in the comments section. And hopefully this is a somewhat better video for those of you who did not like the video of the coin in the coin collector's envelope.